everyone, and welcome back to Liz Sews. After my panty block tutorials, a lot of you guys were interested in other sort of block patterns that you can make. Now, honestly, it's really challenging to make a block for a bra just because there's a lot more variability in contours and curves and stuff like that. And there are some people out there who are already doing it and they do it really, really well. So if you're interested in making a bra block, I would recommend checking out Jennifer Lynn Fairbanks and her Bra Essentials course, and I'll link that down in the description box below. It goes you through making a block or sloper out of your own measurements, and then changing up the style lines. But one thing I thought I could show you fairly easily in this format is how to take a bra pattern that already fits you pretty well and just change it up so it looks a little bit different. So what I have here is the Black Beauty bra from Emerald Erin, and you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you know that this is one of my favorite patterns. So this one fits me really well, and so I'm just going to show you how I can change it up to turn it into, so right now this is sort of like a horizontal seam that goes across the bust, and what I'm going to change it up into is a dart, and one has one continuous piece with just a dart put into it. So why might you want to do a one-piece darted cup? Well, so I really like using this style of cup with a lace that looks like this. So this lace, all of the action is right here up at the top of the cup, and then the rest of the lace is really, really quite plain. So the best way to utilize this lace is to be focusing on the top, and so just cutting one single piece of a cup out might be a much better use of this lace than trying to manipulate multiple pieces around and getting the best placement. I also think it'll help give you just one continuous look of the decorative edge on top. So let's get into how to modify the pattern. So for this alteration, all I'm going to need is the upper and lower cup piece, and then what I'm going to do is, you can see how this comes to sort of like a point or an apex and then back down again. So we're going to cut to the apex or the top of that curve. So once you have those two pieces, I actually separate them completely, and I want to align this point, so where the seam line is on my upper cut piece with the point on my lower cut piece, and align this seam with the seam line up here. So I am getting that this has a little bit of a curve to it. So what I want to do is draw in a straight line . So now I'm going to cut off at that straight line, and we can go back and align the straight line with the seam line of the upper cut piece, and then that little bit that we cut off from the top, I'm going to move it to the side. Now it's going to be a little bit longer than the side, but I just want to make sure that I got most of the volume in, and then I'll tape that into place. And we want to do the same thing with the other half of the cut piece. So align this point here and this point here. Draw in our straight line. Cut off that excess. And then move it to the bottom of the cup. So you can see how I have a little bit extra over here, so we can just trim that off. What I'm really looking to make sure is that I've got all of the same volume in the cup. I just borrowed it from up here and moved it down to the bottom. Let's see, this one looks a lot better. Okay. So once you've done that, you can align these back up And the straight side of your lower cut piece now can just be butted up against the seam line of your upper cut piece because we've eliminated those seam allowances. And that is what the cut piece will look like. So you have this sort of like curved dart put in here, which should look fairly familiar from garment sewing. And I'm going to cut this whole thing out of lace in a single piece. So once you copy over the pattern piece, it should look something like this. So I've gone ahead and cut this out in lace. Here's my lace piece. So I wanted to align the straight edge up here with the scallops of my lace, and this is what I got. And then all you would need to do is, just like in garment sewing, you sort of fold this in half and then align your two edges of your dart, and then you would just sew with the straight stitch up along here. And then what you have is your completed cup piece, which will look like this. So this is all one piece of fabric. I got that nice continuous decorative edge up on the top, and then you can see here that I just have a single seam that runs down the center of it. So for this one, I'm not able to do a stitch and flip method because it is just one piece of fabric, but what I'm going to go ahead and do is line this in a non-stretch cup lining and just put the wrong sides together and then continue sewing my bra as I normally would. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial and you found a new way that you can sort of change a pattern that you already own and expand it to a little bit more usefulness. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.